Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this concert tonight. My name is John Olson. I'm the president of the New York City Classical Guitar Society. It's a pleasure to welcome you to this event. If you don't already know about our organization, I invite you to visit our website at guitarsociety.nyc. Under normal circumstances, we produce about 10 concerts a year. During this pandemic time, we've been continuing to have concerts online, including this concert, and I'll tell you about one upcoming online concert. On May 14th, we'll be presenting the Bowers-Fader duo. That's Orrin Fader on guitar and Jessica Bowers, mezzo-soprano, doing both guitar-voice duets as well as some solo guitar from Orrin. That'll be a fantastic concert, May 14th. Hope to see you at that one as well. And we do have events continuing every month online for guitarists, so if you're interested in coming to those, hearing presentations from guitarists, composers, guitar builders, all kinds of people in the guitar world, as well as chances to perform at our open mic, we'd love to see you there. Before we get started, I just want to thank everybody who donated. This is a benefit concert, and it's really great to see the generosity from so many people supporting organizations that are helping people cope with the really difficult effects of the pandemic. Those include the World Central Kitchen, Americans for the Arts, and Volunteers of America. If you haven't contributed and you'd like to, it's not too late. We have links to those organizations in the video description down below. Please take a look at that and contribute if you're able to. So I'm very excited about tonight's concert. So without further ado, let's get started. I'll welcome to the screen Ben Verdery. Welcome.
Hi, John. Hi, everybody out there. Hi. To my dear friends at the Guitar Society, what a joy to be here.
Well, great to have you for part two of this concert.
Part two, man. What a journey it's been. Whoa!
So tell us about this concert tonight before we get going.
Yeah, well, first, I want to doubly thank you personally for all of the work you've done and the Society for hosting this and presenting it. Yeah, I just can't thank you enough. So, and then I have to thank my fellow musicians from last concert all the way through the wonderful musicians of this concert. I mean, like I said before, they said yes, immediately they were on board. And it's really an honor for me to have played with all these extraordinary musicians. I mean, and I think you're in for a treat tonight like last time. And I have to thank the filmmakers. I mean, starting with Mitsuko Clark-Verdery, with Michael Sinacropi, and Ettore Cosa. Ettore actually did two, or Ettore, sorry. I got to get my dear friend's name right. Anyway, without the filmmakers, it was such a process of learning the music, performing, recording the music, and then actually making the video. So huge thank you to all of them, and everybody's been so giving and fun to work with. It's been extraordinary. And just to underscore what you said earlier, these are benefit concerts. These musicians came on board because of that, I know, and it's just the most, we all watch the news, we all see what's going on around the world. So many people suffering, and in our own country we have children that are starving. We have children that are going and not eating, families that can't afford their rent. I mean, it's just brutal. In coming up, it seemed these three charities, and of course my fellow artists who if they're working on Broadway or pit musicians that can't, it's just. So these seem to be the best charities. And look, if you don't want to give to these charities, give to anything. To your if you're on in Europe, give to anything you want. If the concert moves you, we know that music is has a healing element, not just for us that play it, but for those who listen. So that's part of the beauty of music, is it can take us to another space, another feeling, another emotion, even for a split second. So that's partially what we're hoping tonight, just putting out the energy into the universe. And later we will release these videos one at a time throughout the next 6 months. But thank you for being here tonight. I just can't thank you. And without you, it's just me and John, and which is great. And I'm going to try not to rock tonight. I got a lot of criticism. I just started doing it. There's this I don't want to mention like a commentator that I watch a lot. So I'm really going to try. One of my dearest friends, and the rocking has got to stop. So I have a different chair, and so anyway, so I'm going to really work on that. And John, just call me out if I start, because I started it before. Just say stop the rocking. It's killing you.
All right, so let's get into the music. So I think we're going to start with the first three pieces, and if you want to say a few words, maybe to set that up, and then we'll run those videos.
Okay, quickly. The first video is with two guitarists that could do anything. They're family to me. Jeff Peterson and Ian O'Sullivan. Two of, if they're not legends, they're close to being legends. Two of Hawaii's greatest musicians, guitarists. Ian made this wonderful arrangement of Peter Moon, who's a legendary Hawaiian musician. His piece called Guava Jam. We should have had some Guava Jam. I think we'll figure that out. And so it's just filled with joy. And anybody that knows me knows that my mother-in-law is from Honolulu, and that's why I went to Hawaii in 85, and that was it. You know, the minute I got off the plane and I was in the airport, I said, "Look, I'll stay here. If it gets better than this, I mean, you know." So I pretty much can't wait to get back there every time. And these two guys it's an honor to play with them. And man, what fun. And then that's followed by Christina Bouey, who's this phenomenal violinist who is the first violinist of a quartet that I have played with and will record with soon, the Ulysses Quartet, one of my favorite quartets, one of the greatest quartets, young quartets that are playing today. So we hope to go on and to record Bryce Desner's beautiful piece called Quintet for High Strings. So anyway, Christina this is a piece that's very dear to me. It's called Mobile. It's part of my 15 pieces I wrote called Some Towns and Cities. And Mobile is this short little piece that's dear to me, and I've played it with several people through the years. Guitarists, Jack Fees played a beautiful pedal steel guitar. I've had it with singers. Anyway, but never violin. And Tina, really, as we call her Teen, she made a real fiddle piece out of it. So, and even with a little hints of fiddling here and there. So thank you, Tina. And then followed by three pieces of Bach, which briefly Seymour Bernstein, who we'll hear from later, had introduced me to this extraordinary piece that you'll hear and that I'll talk about, and called God's Time is the Very Best Time. That's the English translation. And anyway, so I had that piece. I didn't know what to do. It was this gorgeous piece. And I said, well, then I thought, oh, maybe I should put the Prelude here and then the Allegro here. So I talk about that later, and it's done in a very special place. So I'm honoring Bach in a chapel that has transformed my life and many others. So that's what's up for now for this portion of the show. All right. Peace, love, and guitars. In this chapel, I was baptized. I heard my father preach many, many sermons as a boy in this exact pew with my brother next to me, and we used to duck down like this and act like he couldn't see us. He was preaching up there where I will play. Played many memorial services in this chapel for my father, my mother, and several friends. I heard the music of J.S. Bach in this chapel for the first time on a beautiful organ played by Anthony Newman and Mary Jane Newman. I heard the Bach chaconne for the very first time at age 12, played by Alexander Schneider. I have seen people pray here. I've seen people laugh here. I've seen people weep in this room. So it's been a very powerful room throughout my life. And I also discovered that I really wanted to play classical guitar in this room after I played my first little recital being in college. So it's been a very powerful room, not just for me, but for all of the Worcester family. I'm sure everybody has their own memories and feelings when they come into this room. And I just wanted to share that. The piece I'm going to play is 3 different pieces of J.S. Bach. One prelude from the 6th cello suite, which leads into the prelude of the cantata 106, BWV 106. And the translation of that actual piece is called God's Time is the Very Best Time. And finally, the Allegro from the Prelude, Fugue, and Allegro. I put these together as a kind of, in my humble opinion, kind of the prelude of this cello suite represents somebody's life, and the In God's Time is Best, is the very best time. That to me is sort of someone passing, and finally the Allegro is like a rebirth. So that's just my own interpretation of this little set that I put together. Thank you.
Wow. Well, that was a fantastic first set of three videos. Those are all beautiful, and I really particularly love seeing and hearing the Bach in that space that was so important to you. That was really meaningful.
Thank you. I'm very happy to have done that at Worcester and to have that memento as that video. So thanks.
Just great. Well, so now let's move on to the next piece. This is a piece written for you by the great pianist, composer, teacher, author Seymour Bernstein. Before we get into that, maybe just tell us briefly why he has been important to you.
Well, Seymour, I started studying with Seymour when I was 24 something years old, and still play for him. He's a mentor. He's a dear friend. I just felt this would be a wonderful time for people to those who may not have heard the piece to hear it. And I was so lucky enough to have him, to do this little interview with him. So I'll leave it there. And let's just hear this interview, and thank you, Seymour, for all you've given me and thousands of others. And thank you for this gorgeous piece.
Yeah, it really is gorgeous, and it's a gorgeous video. So we'll run the interview.
Thank you also to Scott and Sean for making this video from Polyphonic Industries, as it were. Yeah.
All right. So we'll run the interview, and then we'll go straight into the video from there.
Thank you so much, Seymour, for agreeing to do this short interview.
I wouldn't have passed this by for the world, because I think the world of you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, obviously, we could go on and talk for hours, and we have talked for hours. But just as an aside, for those of you who want to know more about Seymour, please go to, I think it's still available on Netflix, and see the documentary called Seymour, An Introduction, directed by Ethan Hawke. But Seymour, I've been studying with you since I was 25 years old, and I wanted to say publicly just to bow to you and thank you so much for all of you that you've given me. It's ineffable. Advice on not just music, but life and friendship and love. And it's been great. And for years, I've asked you I wanted a piece from you. I used to hound you. Would you write me a piece? Would you write me a piece? And finally, not that long ago, about 7 years ago, I think, you wrote me this gorgeous piece called Searching for a Chorale, which we're going to show tonight. And I
had to wait until I was in my 90s to finally do it for you. You know okay. Why I waited so long?
Tell me.
Well, I do think the world of you. And, I think that a profound talent of which you're imbued is a genetic thing. And I'm not, don't consider myself egoistic to say that I'm imbued with a talent also. You and I share that together. So now, you said before you wanted to thank me for all that I've given you. This business of teaching is a very interesting thing. Do you know what the word education comes from? From the Latin educare, which means that what? It means to lead out. Now, teaching, the best teaching is to somehow lead out of the student what's already inside. Now, if you're not genetically programmed, I'm so sorry. There's nothing really to lead out. So the best we can do is to have our students imitate us, right? But that's better than nothing after all. And it does elevate the way they perform. And very often, if they imitate long enough, something really awakens inside of them. It's a kind of awakening their potential. With you, it was only a question of leading it out. So you're imbued with a profound sense of musicality And I couldn't figure out how I could pay tribute to that. How can I write a piece that marks your profundity? Finally, something hit on me. I'm going to hold it up on the screen. Can you see the title?
Yes. Hold it a little higher. Ah, that's best. Yeah.
So now these are, imagine, 371 chorales by the father of all of music. You know, he was the greatest. When you stop to think of all the composers, he has to be the greatest. So now, since I was 15, I used to read through these chorales and sometimes weep, just have a big cry over some of them. And I noticed that one of them kept repeating over and over again. And it happened to be the chorale from the St. Matthew Passion. And I noticed that every time it repeated 5 times, it kept falling lower and lower and lower. And finally, the 5th time, it was filled with a torment because of the crucifixion. The harmonies were twisted in pain, so to speak. At any rate, that has always been one of the greatest experiences of my musical life. Those chorales. I figured that's what I'll do. I'll fashion a piece searching for that chorale, and it'll be a tribute to Ben and to show how much I think of his gifts. And that's how I came about to write it.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I love what you just said. And just finally, I was at your apartment taking a lesson, and then you said to me, now sit down, and you played for me, and I'll say the English translation, God's Time is the Very Best Time, which is the prelude of the cantata BWV 106. And you had made
Say it in German.
I'm not going to. You
Okay.
can. You say it.
Gottes Zeit ist die allerbeste Zeit. God's time is always the best time. But you know, now look, for your listening audience, that doesn't mean that we all of us are Christians like Bach was. The miracle of what Bach did is he may have been inspired by the New Testament, the Old Testament, all of religious texts, but finally, the final realization of what he was experiencing became a universal spirituality that does not need to have any denomination or any creed or any personal belief. It is simply a universal spiritual emanation. And that's what gets to all people. That's why Bach is intelligible to everyone. Whatever their religion, whatever their nationality, doesn't matter. The feeling of it gets through, and we know what it is that he was feeling.
That's great. So I was saying that you played it for me, and then you said that I had to make an arrangement, which I did, and which we'll hear tonight, which we've heard. And
you know, it wasn't as good as my arrangement.
Well, I'm afraid.
I tolerated it.
Yeah, I know you did. This is. I'm trying to be serious for our audience and not be silly the way we always are. But I'll just say you can have your fantasies, thinking yours is better, but that's okay. I'll allow that. Now, moving on. After you played it for me, you said that you thought you were playing the piano better at age 90 than you ever had. And
yes, I really mean that.
So can you say a bit about that before we leave?
Well, it's a surprise to me. Next month I'm going to be 94. Can you believe that every year that I get older, I sometimes go to the piano and I place my hands on a phrase and I say, oh my God, where did that come from? I better get my recorder quick and record this. That's how it's been. It's some kind of a miracle for which I'm very grateful. I believe that, as a matter of fact, I did try to probe how is this possible to feel this way at 94? And Ethan Hawke asked me to write a book on getting older. And so I had to probe it, and I realized that a person is never too young to prepare for the serenity of old age. They're either going to be serene and productive, or they're going to be like some of their grandparents, aching and complaining and watching television all day and being bored to death and then dying. So now, here's a nice little adage for all of your listening audiences. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
On the corner of where I live, there's a church and a billboard. And that billboard has sayings from people from all walks of life. Even someone like what was her, Mae West. Remember Mae West?
Of course.
She was the sex figure of the gay 90s. She had this phrase, too much of a good thing is wonderful. So now, how does that fit into my teaching? Well, my pupils always complain when they do a Schubert sonata, God, this theme is coming so often. How can I play it each time the same way? And I tell them, listen, too much of a good thing is wonderful. But here is the best adage that I saw on the billboard. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Lay it on me.
You never grow old so long as you don't forget how to begin. How about that?
That's great.
Now look at Ben. Tomorrow, you have a recital coming up. So
Well,
tomorrow,
it's this is part of the program, so it's actually happening tonight, as it were.
So now I'm going to tell you how this adage works.
Okay.
So every time you pick up your guitar and practice, guess what you're doing? You're making a new beginning. How about if you do that right through your 90 years? You'll always be making a new beginning, sparking your brain and sending the best enzymes and chemicals through your body. So a student can never be young enough to understand this. And if they are not disciplined during their young years, they can't look forward to a productive old age.
Well, that's a great wisdom. Thank you. We're going to end it there. I'm not going to even be silly, though I'm dying to be. I'll call you later. But thanks so much. And now we'll John probably will show us. We'll hear Searching for a Chorale. I'll see you soon. Please stay out of trouble.
Bye, Ben.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye.
Okay, well, that's such a beautiful video at one of my favorite places. I
I
know
know
one
we
of
love
yours as well.
we love that church. We've all
Yeah,
you performed there. I performed there. We
yeah,
miss Bowie.
yeah, yeah. No, it's beautiful and wonderful piece, and
Yeah,
great to see
Seymour,
that
I love that piece.
interview. Yeah, great to see the two of you have a chance to chat like that.
We were being very good. There was no silliness. A
Yes,
little bit.
very serious. All right, so we're going to play next the next three videos on the program, and these are all united by being collaborations with other Yale faculty. Why don't you set these up for us?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I didn't really envision these three pieces going together, but it's kind of great because they're all my colleagues at Yale, and I thank them so much for their artistry and their inspiration. And in the case of Ettore, he's Italian, and I get his name wrong all the time, but now I'm getting it. Anyway, Ettore is sort of like Craig Payton. He does everything, and he does the videos, and he plays perfectly, and then at the same time he's making the video. So Ettore did the videos for the last piece and the two last pieces, the Schubert and my piece, Tibetan Song. And I want to thank my friend Charlie Whitman for his beautiful photographs of Tibet that start that, and of course Wayne for his, just all through Wayne and James. I love these musicians, and it's an honor to know them, and I'm overjoyed that we have these videos.
traulich beisammen im kühlen Ellendach. Wir schauten so traulich zusammen hinab in den rieselnden Bach. Der Mond war auch gekommen, die Sternlein hinterdrein und schauten so traulich zusammen in den silbernen Spiegel hinein. Ich sah nach keinem Monde, nach keinem Sternenschein. Ich schaute nach ihrem Bilde, nach ihrem Auge allein. Und sah sie nicken und blicken herauf aus dem seligen Bach. Die Blümlein am Ufer, die blauen, sie nickten und blickten ihr nach. Und in den Bach versunken, der ganze Himmel schien und wollte mich mit hinunter in seine Tiefe ziehen. Und über den Wolken und Sternen, da rieselte munter der Bach und rief mit Singen und Klingen: Geselle, Geselle, mir nach. Da gingen die Augen mir über, da ward es im Spiegel so kraus. Sie sprach: Es kommt ein Regen, ade, ich geh nach Haus. Meine Laute hab ich gehängt an die Wand, hab sie umschlungen mit einem grünen Band. Ich kann nicht mehr singen, mein Herz ist zu voll, weiß nicht, wie ich's in Reime zwingen soll. Meine Sehnsucht allerheißesten Schmerz tut dich aushauchen in Liederschmerz. Und wie ich klagte, so süß und fein, glaubt ich doch, mein Leiden wär nicht klein. Ei, wie groß ist wohl meines Glückes Last, dass kein Klang auf Erden es in sich fasst, dass kein Klang auf Erden es in sich fasst. An dem Nagel hier und weht ein Lüftchen über die Saiten dir und streift eine Biene mit ihrem Flügel dich. Da wird mir so bange und es durchschauert mich. Warum ließ ich das Band auch hängen so lang? Oft fliegt's um die Saiten mit seufzendem Klang. Ist es der Nachklang meiner Liebespein? Soll es das Vorspiel neuer Lieder sein? Ist es der Nachklang meiner Liebespein? Soll es das Vorspiel neuer Lieder sein?
Okay, well, another great set of videos, amazing collaborating artists in that set, as well as throughout this program, but really fantastic colleagues that you've
Love
got.
those guys. Thank you, guys.
Just amazing. Beautiful. Well, we're getting close to the end of the program here, and this is actually a pretty big moment because we're going to play a premiere by a major composer in the guitar world. So the guitarists in our audience will certainly understand what a big legendary name Sergio Asadas is. Doesn't get much bigger than Sergio Asadas as a player and as a composer. And it is really exciting to be able to premiere this new flute and guitar piece that he wrote for you and Rie Schmidt. Maybe we can start by you just telling us why it was important to have him as part of this project.
Well, actually, thinking about this project at the very beginning, I thought Sergio has said for years that he would write a piece for Rie and I. We've known Sergio since 1978. We adore him. We love and Odair, and they've been great inspirations, as you said, to thousands of us, probably millions. And what an honor. And he said, sure. And he wrote us this piece, and I thought, what a perfect piece for this project. So and of course, what a joy to for Rie and I to do a video together. I think this is our first video. So it just was great. And I think Sergio says it all. And we asked him some questions about the piece, and he was so generous to give us his time to talk about the piece. So let's hear what Sergio says.
Yeah.
And
Let's
then hear the piece.
Let's see that chat, and then we'll get right into the video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sergio, thank you so much for being here and for writing the piece. We're just thrilled that you've taken the time to talk a little bit about this incredible piece. The piece is in 3 movements, and I just wanted to know how you came. Why 3 movements? They're all contrasting, but was that something that you thought of immediately? Like, yeah, I want 3 movements. How did that happen?
The first piece I wrote was the slow movement, because the idea was to write something for the alto flute. But the one that was finished, I thought, no, but it's not strong enough. It's not strong enough with a statement. So it's a pretty piece. So I thought I could do something better. Then it came to my mind, you as this huge rock and roll figure.
I want to say the first movement opens with the hippest lick. I was going to grab my guitar and be now, how did you come up with that? Is that something you came up with at the guitar?
I don't use the guitar to write, but I get inspired by playing. So when I get an idea that I think is good, I can drop the guitar and start writing. Because if I have the guitar in my hands, I'm going to just follow what comes naturally to the hand. So I prefer to let it flow, to write the notes down that comes to my mind. Then I see it's playable. That's why sometimes I get stuck because it's not playable at all. But then I have to modify a little bit here and there.
Well, Rie also wanted you would ask about the extended techniques.
Yeah, I was just wondering about all the, there's singing, there's the pizzicato, you had these breaths, air sounds, and I just was wondering what made you, think of doing those.
When I started with the idea that I should write a spade rock and roll piece because of Ben, the first thing that came to my mind was that old rock and roll group from the 70s.
Oh, the Jethro Tull?
Yeah.
Really? I thought you were going to say...
To hear them again from those days, right? And that's what he did, he did all that kind of stuff.
I thought it was Hermeto Pascual all this time.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Ian Anderson comes back to haunt us. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, great. All right, well, just one more question. Back to the slow movement. Right now, I mean, for me, there's the Sergio slow movements that are so, well, yeah, we're going to cover, I'll have to ask about fast movement too, but you just write the most drop-dead, gorgeous melodies. It's just heart-wrenching. And this isn't the only one. I mean, they're all this, like some of it's like some of the greatest melodic writing. What inspires this incredible lyricism from you? I mean, is there a certain composer or composers that that touched you at a young age to write this kind of? I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you're just like, oh, people are gonna weep. Wait till you guys hear the second movement. Go ahead.
Thank you for the compliment, but I think it's part of any Brazilian musician in their upbringing, because they hear so many beautiful melodies through their lives. And I think we have so many great composers for melodies. I'm talking about people from the past, you know.
Right.
Go through the history of the Brazilian music, and you see, you know, Pichincha, Noel Rosa. These people, they wrote so amazing melodies. So you grow up with that, you think that's normal.
Playing your music has been such a lesson in composition. I mean, like the last movement, just the rhythmic drive, but also what's happening with the harmony is really you. I mean, it's a signature a kind of writing. I mean, now you say the last, because I like that, you know, first movement's rock and roll, then we have this drop dead gorgeous, you know, almost ballad. And then you say in a Latin style. And one thing that was really tough for me, I have to apologize, I don't think I did it well, is the percussion. You know, you play the chord and then your left hand has to grab it. I wanted to kill you because it's like well, if I was stationary, it'd be fine. But, oh no, you have to change the harmonies. I'm like, ah! So, you know, it's like, but tell me about that tech, is that a standard?
I don't know many people doing that kind of thing. I can't point one player or, you know, that specific thing.
Yeah.
Although in Brazilian guitar playing, there are many specific things that you can't actually point. You know, this person did this, that one person did that. Mm-hmm. That particular one, I can't recall anyone. I'm not implying that I came up with that I invented.
Right.
Probably not. But it's part of my vocabulary.
But, you know, when I first saw it, I wanted to cry. I mean, I did cry. You know, for my mommy, I said, this is brutal. I love this guy, but this is torture. And then it becomes this wonderful, expressive device. Anyway, well, look, people want to hear this piece. We love you, Sergio. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's hear this piece.
Very impressed with her playing. Beautiful. Made my day.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Okay, let's hear world premiere of Sergio Asadas' New York Sketches.
All right. Well, wow. What a great way to close this concert. That is an amazing piece, just beautiful, joyous, and wonderful video, too. So
Yes,
great
our
to see.
daughter Mitsuko
Yeah.
did it. Thank you, Mitz.
Beautiful work. Beautiful
And
work.
that's our backyard. That's right where we live in our apartment building. And our children and all the children of this building actually painted that mural. So
Really?
it's very
That's
special.
great.
You can see at one point there are names of people. So very special for us.
Okay, well, this whole concert was amazing. The whole two-night concert was incredible. This has really been a joy to work on with you, and it's an amazing
Thank
set of
you.
videos that you've assembled.
And you, because we didn't even say how you edited and did the video with Wayne. So phenomenal. Thank you. Without you, forget it.
It was a pleasure. So we're at the close of the concert, but we are going to do a post-concert Zoom hang.
Yes,
for anybody
come
who
on,
wants
see
to
us, come on.
over. So we'll drop
Zoom.
the Zoom link in the chat, and you can come on over and say hello to Ben in the post-concert online reception.
Please do. We should have some of the artists will be there. I think Sergio's going to show up. So come on over. Come on down to my boat. Sorry, I didn't mean to say.
Well, thanks again, Ben, so much for these two events. It's just been incredible. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you in the Zoom reception or in one of our other concerts very soon. Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Good night.